I'm Glenn McGinnis and welcome to Outburst. This week, we're crossing Canada to celebrate our nation's 152nd birthday.
Happy Canada Day!
Happy Canada Day.
We're from Saskatchewan.
And we're in Halifax.
Happy Canada Day, eh?
Happy Canada Day!
Happy Canada Day from Yellowknife.
Happy Canada Day.
Happy birthday, Canada. Good. Very nice.
Geographically, Canada is the second largest nation in the world. There's lots to do and see here. But unfortunately, many of us have not been lucky enough to experience the sights and sounds this great country has to offer. But as we found out, many of you do have a wish list. So we set out across the country with this question.
What is one place in Canada you've never visited but would like to?
Vancouver. Vancouver, I've never been there, but a lot of people say amazing things about that, so I wanna, in the future, go there.
One place that I'd really like to go to in Canada, well, pretty much anywhere out west, actually, so like Banff probably would be one of my top choices. I haven't really gone very many places out west, in Vancouver too. Yeah, so both of those spots.
Disney World. That's not in Canada, that's in Florida. Oh.
Well, I've never been to Eastern Canada, and I think Newfoundland would probably be the #1 spot that I would take as a visit.
I always want to go like Ontario, like Toronto, Niagara Falls. It's basically always been, I've always wanted to just go across Canada in general.
Probably Ottawa, in around there, maybe Quebec. Yeah, Quebec, Montreal.
Why is that?
I just hear it's very creative, it's very artistic. People are more prone to diversity there because of the language.
I think probably like Niagara Falls, because that's pretty cool and it's really pretty. So
Since my childhood, I want to see the waterfall. So that's why I want to go to Ottawa and some other locations so that I can see the Niagara Fall, because that's been in my childhood and that's my dream. So I want to go there. Yeah.
Red Deer. I've never been there. I've known, it's amazing how many people I know who have been there. And in my imagination, it's only a little tiny place somewhere, I won't say in the middle of nowhere because it's in Canada, but in the wilderness somewhere. And it's in the news a lot. I like to go to the Red Deer sometime.
The place I'd like to visit is British Columbia, because I love trees, and I know the trees are humongous there, and I know it's a little bit milder there, and yeah, the mountains. I'd love to see the mountains.
I haven't visited Edmonton yet. I heard the biggest mall is over there, so I would love to go and find out myself.
Labrador. I've been to all of the provinces and territories, but not that part of Newfoundland.
I'd probably say Montreal. I've not been there yet, and that'd be really nice.
Nunavut. I've been coast to coast, and Nunavut's the only place I haven't been yet.
But I've heard about New Brunswick, I've read about, what's it called, High. I've heard about Newfoundland and all that, and I would love to pay those places a visit, even during the summer period.
I would like to go up to Prince Rupert area, from Edmonton up to Prince Rupert, or I'd like to go from Winnipeg up to Churchill by train.
Oh, there's so many places. I'd like to go to the East Coast. So many people have talked about it. I've never been. I'd just love to go.
I've been to every province but Newfoundland, and we're making plans to go there. I'd love to go.
What do you want to see in Newfoundland?
The ambience, the feeling, the people, the coves, the fish. I'm dying to go.
I think I'd like to go to the Yukon. The wildlife, the water life, very different in aesthetics, just the landscape.
You know, I think I'd like to go to the Annapolis Valley because I like fruit.
Newfoundland, Labrador. I see ads on the TV and they just appear to me to be so beautiful, and the ruggedness of it, the icebergs that flow down that way, and the people. I love their accents.
for one thing.
Vancouver.
Any particular reason?
My sister went and she said it was really nice there, and I wanted to go see it too.
The Canadian Rockies.
How come? What do you like about it?
I think that's the nature.
I want to go to Vancouver actually, really badly.
Any particular reason?
I have some friends that live there from McGill, so I'd like to go and see them.
Somewhere I've never visited is Newfoundland. That's the Arctic or the territories. Those are done all the other provinces.
Yeah, I'd like to go to the territories.
Yeah, they're pretty amazing.
Grossmore National Park.
Yeah, I was going to say Newfoundland is the one place I haven't been to.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I have been to Newfoundland, but I've never been to the park, and I hear it's absolutely stunning. Yeah.
I'd love to visit Whitehorse, Yukon. I've never been there.
Why Whitehorse?
Because I heard that it's very beautiful, and it's a lot like Yellowknife, but with the mountains.
I've been to every province and territory in the country, but we would really like to go back to Cape Breton.
I really want to get to Whitehorse. It's one of the only territories that I haven't been to yet.
The Northwest Territories, because we just finished a trip all across Canada, and that was the only place we didn't go.
Newfoundland. Well, I don't know, just because of the ruggedness and the people. Some of the people that I've met from Newfoundland are pretty, quite friendly, and so I'd like, it's probably a good community, and it actually harkens back to a time when maybe Canada was, 20 years ago, and it's a little bit easier going, and I think that people still have those values to them, whereas a lot of places they don't have. They're a little bit too high strung.
I'd like to go back to Halifax because I only spent there a couple of days, and it's an interesting old city with a lot of heritage.
I would probably have to say Newfoundland. I hear that the coastline is absolutely stunning, and I'm just in love with the ocean, so why not?
Hometown pride is something many of us feel, whether you're from Atlantic Canada, the West Coast, the Prairies, Central Canada, up north, anywhere. Canadians love to boast about their roots and where their story began. So we took our cameras out to give people the opportunity to brag. Our question:
why should every Canadian visit your hometown?
So my hometown is Vancouver. I love Vancouver, and I think people should come here because of all the things that you can do in a day for cheap or free. I spend all the time in the world with my son, going to parks, riding the SkyTrain, checking out different neighborhoods, and there's always something to do.
Sure, I actually grew up in Hamilton, Ontario, which has changed a lot. I've been in Vancouver for 7 years now. Hamilton was a very blue-collar city when I was there, full of just great, people, but now every time I go back, it's just further developing, and you're seeing a lot of young people really kind of take over the city and develop it, and lots of new entrepreneurs and new businesses and coffee shops. And so I think, not just in Hamilton, but even in a place like Vancouver and Canada overall, is just, I think, a lot of young people that are really creating the culture and society that they want, and that's really cool to see.
My hometown is Muskeg Lake, Cree Nation in Saskatchewan. It's a very beautiful, very rural area, but it's a place of peace, calm and tranquility.
Well, I'm living these days in Victoria, BC. It's a lovely city to visit, a diverse population, something for everyone, and we just love showing visitors around.
Because there's nothing better than the Okanagan, and this is a great town with a great mixture of people, young and old, and lots of things to do.
You could list the physical, geographical characteristics of the town. Stunning Rowing Lake at the north, two picturesque lakes to the south, and the hills themselves surround the town. So it gives a sense of belonging and a sense of containment, which I think is healthy for the town. And as a result of that, the citizens in the town reflect that geography of being aware of each other and wanting to have a civil town that works.
It's beautiful here. We have the most pristine lakes in the Okanagan. We have great shopping here, and the people are just so kind.
Because I think it's a lovely place to be in Canada. We have water here, we have small mountains, and a very nice community.
Mississauga is so cute, and
Square One Mall. We have the biggest mall in Ontario. And yeah, they should visit and see some certain parts and nice things about Mississauga, you know.
Everyone should visit my hometown, Toronto, because you will feel welcome no matter where you come from.
It's beautiful scenery. Most beautiful place in Canada, in my opinion, Vancouver here. Lots of camping, lots of outdoors, lots of indoors, lots of food. Always something to do.
I'm from Winnipeg. Some people, they'll just pass it over as if it's, you know, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, so it's kind of hard to get to sometimes, especially if you're, you know, if you've come in, it's not really a hub, but it's a good place. There's a lot of things to do there, a lot of culture. Downtown Winnipeg's a great place, and it's a fun time. Yeah, I've been there my whole life.
I love the quality of living here. I love the people here. And I just like the outdoors, and it's the best place to be.
Hometown is Victoria. It's beautiful. Everybody should go there. The weather, the walking, the harbour, the people that live there. It's gorgeous.
Well, Vernon has got lots to offer. I mean, that's why I live here. You know, coming from the prairies, I came through here as a teenager and was having lunch. And there was a ripe peach hanging from a peach tree after I had done my lunch, and I sort of just bit it off the tree and ate it. It was like ruby red and, you know, totally tree ripe, and it was the best thing I ever had in my whole life. And there's lots of that kind of thing around here. The lakes, it's just beautiful. The mountain scenery, Canada's Hawaii, without a doubt.
To get a whiff of the you know, more central coastal region, you know, what it's like to live in a desert atmosphere, you know, more hotter, more desert sort of climate, you know, away from the sea, you know, stuck in the middle, I think creates a whole different sort of mindset.
Well, I presume it's a tourist destination, summer and winter. And we actually had some house sitters this past winter who come out from Ontario and ski for several months. And there's a group of them who do that on a regular basis.
I don't know, it's small, it's interesting. There's some cool places you can find if you know where to look, I guess. I don't know, it's different than places like Kelowna because it's smaller and it just has a good community, I guess.
There are a lot of fun here in Toronto, that's why. A lot of fun.
I would just explore all the small little pockets within the city, head to Leslieville, it's adorable, lots of great restaurants, and again, it's very diverse and has a lot to offer for everyone.
I'm from Surrey Guildford, and I would recommend people visiting there because I think that they have a great cultural thing going on there. They love integrating people into the arts, whether they're young or old, and I think that with the City of Surrey and the volunteers they have, I think they're trying to get the youth more involved with the community.
I'm from here in Vancouver, BC, and I'd recommend it to other people as a place to live because the perfect mix of nature, culture, and city.
So I'm from Winnipeg. I would recommend people visit that town just because not a whole lot of people from Canada know about it, to be honest. It's just full of culture, full of good food, and just good times.
Roughly how wide is it across Canada in kilometers?
30,000 kilometers? I have no idea. Am I in the ballpark?
40,000. Don't know.
3,800 kilometers?
What he said, minus 1 kilometer.
Your choices are 4,000, 5,500, or 7,000.
Okay, then I'll go for 4,000.
I'd go 7,000 option.
5,500.
It's 5,500.
Woo!
Good for you.
Thank you.
Canada runs 5,514 kilometers across from Cape Spear, Newfoundland and Labrador to the Yukon and Alaska boundary. That's the length of over 90,000 hockey rinks, or 167,000 blue whales, and roughly the same distance from New York to London. It's the second largest country in the world in square kilometers after Russia, and just slightly bigger than the United States of America. More than 27% of Canada's total area is above the tree line, and the country boasts the world's longest coastline. It is expensive to fly across this big country, but the number of Canadians traveling across it is growing. The top tourism destinations for Canadians in Canada are BC, Alberta, and Ontario.
Many countries around the world have their own unique qualities, and Canada is certainly no exception. We take pride in our nature, our food, our multiculturalism, our hobbies, and our national pastimes. So we sent our cameras out to ask people to pinpoint some of the qualities that set Canada apart from the rest of the world. Our question:
Name something that's distinctly Canadian from coast to coast to coast.
The niceness of the people. That's what we found on our trip across the country. Everywhere we went, everybody in every province was more than helpful and kind and always looking out for us.
It's at the same time very open mind, very nice and international people.
Distinctly Canadian, eh? I would say that would be distinctly Canadian.
Snow. Snow is distinctly Canadian in my book.
How about the Toronto Raptors? Way the north.
Definitely Poutine. There's nothing like it anywhere else in the world.
Well, I think coast to coast and in the world, the Canadian forces.
A good old-fashioned poutine.
Hockey. Without a doubt, hockey.
Probably hockey.
Yeah.
I think hockey.
Nice people. We do have a lot of nice people in Canada.
Maple syrup?
I think all the sports, hockey and ice skating and everything.
How about the Canadian Shield? It's what we have here. It's one of the one of the great things about the Northwest Territories.
Bacon.
Lacrosse. Hockey. Curling. What do you think, my boy? Hey?
Canadian geese and multicultural.
Saying A, eating specific foods like poutine, and enjoying everyone's differences and asking questions and learning about each other when we don't know.
I think kind, courteous people. You know, we're not American, we are Canadian. We are proud of it, and yet we don't have to wear a flag on our jersey or our t-shirt or on the back of our car or on the front of our house to display the fact that we are. We're very nationalistic and proud, but we don't have to put it in other people's faces. We just know.
I'd have to say hockey. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely the sport of hockey.
Beavers. Maple Leafs. Hockey. Most people don't know, but basketball is a Canadian sport.
We are here in our nation's capital asking people who are visiting our country from abroad to name something distinctly Canadian. Sir, you're visiting here from the Netherlands?
Yes, that's correct.
Name something that is distinctly Canadian.
Maple syrup.
Als.
Oh.
He means moose.
How do you say that in your language?
Als.
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup.
Maple syrup. Okay, madam.
The really nice outdoor nature.
What do you like about it?
The many lakes and the forest and the wildlife, the bears, the elks, yeah.
The maple leaf.
That's pretty Canadian.
Cheers.
The Rocky Mountains.
The Rocky Mountains. Have you both had a chance to see the Rocky Mountains?
Yes.
Lovely. Okay, and your thoughts?
Oh, it was beautiful. The scenery was out of this world.
Mm-hmm. Maple syrup.
Mm-hmm. Maple tree.
Maple trail.
Bears.
Bears.
Canadian goose.
Canadian actor.
Canadian, sorry.
Actors.
Canadian actors. Like Ryan Gosling?
Like Russell Peter, like Jim Carrey.
Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry, of course, yeah.
Well, for me, the Wales and Tadoussac and the fjord, Saguenay Fjords, Lac Saint-Jean, and Chicoutimi, for example.
You've taken a tour of Quebec.
Yes, more or less 2,500 kilometers drives, and we are here for 2 days.
Sir, you are also from the UK visiting Canada?
North Wales, yes.
North Wales. Name something that is distinctly Canadian.
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
All this week.
You don't get a lot of sunshine in Wales?
It's pouring the rain at the moment.
Okay. Besides sunshine, anything else?
Well, the friendliness for the people, definitely.
The nature, the lake, and the people are very easygoing, and yes, I love this kind of behavior, and yeah, we feel good.
Many people who call Canada home will tell you how fortunate we are to live here. But if you ask why, the reasons may vary. So for our nation's 152nd birthday, we set out to ask Canadians this question. What do you love most about living in Canada?
I much love it is safer and the people so friendly and happy. So I'm very like it, stay here.
What I love most about living in Canada is how welcoming people are, how inclusive people are, and just how there's I think all of the green space too that we have, and you know, just the water and the lakes and the rivers, and it's just, you know, I think the nature of Canada too is what I love. So yeah, those are the reasons.
It's peaceful, and it's
the 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Having like winter, summer, then fall, and spring.
Basically, I love the lifestyle over here, and moreover the people, they are very nice and they welcome everyone. That's why.
It's such a great country where there's freedom of thoughts and great prospects and access to education, medical care, the list goes on and on.
Once again, my name is Darius, and I just migrated like 3 years ago in Canada. And what I know and I've seen, like, Canada is a nice place, nice people, right? And there are like so many things to see and do in Canada.
It's a multicultural country. Different people are here.
And I just love that we can be so free here. I myself, being a gay person, I feel really safe and welcomed, and it's a good place to be. I couldn't imagine living anywhere else, actually.
What's not to like about Canada? You know, obviously, I would say just the abundance of nature, you know, especially here in Vancouver. I mean, being able to live in a metropolitan city and then also be able to, within 20 minutes, be climbing in the mountains or, you know, sitting by the ocean at the beach. Obviously, just the freedom and the luxuries that we have of being in Canada, I mean, yeah, I don't know what more to say other than that.
People from anywhere in the world have come to Canada and have made their home here, and this is part of what has attracted me, because it's the international influence of people and the acceptance of anybody that comes. I mean, you behave like a human being and you're accepted like one, and you're treated like one, and you do the same in return.
I love living in Canada because I'm free to pursue anything I wish to.
It's really hard to say. There's so much that's wonderful, but I think more than anything else, it's the land, the people, and the freedom that we have here. There's so much to be grateful for. And it's also to be grateful for the friendly smiles from border people, officials, when we come back to Canada from being away. It's just wonderful.
Canada in general is beautiful and diverse and friendly and fun to live in.
Canada is not only a good place, it's the best place. The cultural mix is incredible, and it's a beautiful, big, scenic country. I love it. I feel sorry for anyone who does not live here.
I think the best part about living in Canada is just the diversity of thought, of people, and how inclusive we are as a country.
Wherever you drive, there's always a beautiful scene. Well, I'm an artist, so I painted a lot of Nova Scotia, and that's another thing I love about Canada. It's beautiful.
Well, I like how there's a lot of animals and
a lot of places where you can go to see nature, and we're doing a lot of stuff to try to protect nature.
I love the fresh air. I like being outdoors. I know we're in the city right now and all that stuff like that, but we have so much opportunity to go outside the city and enjoy the outdoors. We're in Halifax, public gardens behind us. Beautiful. You're in the city, but you're outdoors.
The thing that I like the most in Canada is very fresh air and friendly people and the beautiful scenery.
The friendliness of people, I find they're very friendly, that the towns, yeah, they're nice.
I like the restaurants. I feel like we have really good food, like a lot of good restaurants, so I like that.
The thing that I love most about Canada is the diversity. You get to have so many different experiences in one day because it's such a melting pot, and it's just a beautiful place to be.
I love Canada because of its people. They're very friendly, they're very helpful. Everybody always has a smile on their face, and I love that when we get off the bus, everybody thanks the bus drivers.
People feel like neighbors here. Everyone's your neighbor, you know, you can talk to people. It's a general state of friendliness. It's with everybody, immigrants, people who are from here, everybody.
I love the culture in Canada. I love the diversity. It's like the world's melting pot of everyone together, and it's almost like just a combination of every culture together, and it really just makes it that much better that it's everything together.
I think that I can go anywhere across Canada and there's always a friendly face, and you can always meet somebody who's willing to show you around and take you in, kind of like family.
I love that it's such a large country that's so diverse, and I can go different places in Canada and it's like I'm in a different country. There's so many friendly people, lots of cultures, and I live in the Northwest Territories, which I love the most.
What is the population of Canada?
Oh. Canada? Oh.
3 million?
How much?
3 millions? Or 5?
About 24 million.
Your choices are 25 million, 37 million, 45 million.
37 million. 25.
37?
37.
It's 37.
Yeah! I got it. I got the answer. I got it right.
Canada's population is just over 37 million people and growing. That's about 4 people for every square kilometer in Canada. The United States has a population density of 36 people per square kilometer. Vancouver is Canada's densest city at about 5.5 people per square kilometer. New York, by comparison, has a little more than 10,000 people per square kilometer. While it's not as dense, Toronto is Canada's largest and fastest growing city by population, with just under 3 million people in the city and 6.3 million in the Greater Toronto area. In fact, Toronto is the fastest growing city in North America, just ahead of Phoenix, Arizona. Ontario is also the province with the highest population, followed by Quebec and British Columbia. That's all for this Canada Day edition of Outburst on the Cable Public Affairs channel. I'm Glenn McGuinness. If you have any comments about this show or question ideas for future shows, you can find us on social media. You can also find us on our website at www.cpac.ca/outburst. It's your turn to speak up, and we're listening.